Hi everyone, I'm William. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'll be going through the one of the assessment paper from the Nanyang Primary School. It's a primary 6 mathematical papers. So before we get started, if you like the channel and if you are supporting what I'm doing here, please click the like button and also click on the subscribe button. I'll really appreciate that. Okay, so let's get started. And I will encourage you to download the paper first. You can print it out. You can try to do the paper by yourself, and then I will be going through the paper with you together. And I will be putting the link where you can download the paper in the information column, so you will be able to try it first before I go through the paper with you together. So let's go to question 1. Simplify 14a plus 8 minus 5a minus 7. So basically, it's very simple, simplification. So what you need to do is you put all the unknown, the number with the a together, and you put all the other numbers together and try to add them or subtract them together. So basically, you can rewrite the formula as 14a, and then you put the a together. So minus 5a, then plus 8, and minus 7. So 14a minus 5a, 14 minus 5, which is 9, so it's 9a, and then plus 8 minus 7, which is equal to 1, so it's 9a plus 1, so the answer is 1. Okay, let's move on to question 2. Find the missing number in the box below. For 4800 divided by 3, and then equal to 16 times to an unknown number. So basically, this is a calculation on the either side of the equal sign. So let's figure out what is on the left hand side first. So 4800 divided by 3. So it's very straightforward division. So 1 here, 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. You put down the 8. So 3 times 6 equal to 18. Okay, and then you have 2 zeros here, so you just fill with 2 zeros. So on the left hand side is equivalent to 1600 equals to 16 times the box. So I think it's quite straightforward. On the left hand side you have 1600, and then on the right hand side you have 16 times a number. So obviously that number will be 100. So the answer is 3. Question 3. Russell had 9 out of 10 liters of water. He drank 3 out of 5 liters of water. How much water did he have left? Okay, underline the keyword left. So it's quite important to read the question. So that's one of the important things. So he had 9 out of 10 liters of water. He drank 3 out of 5 liters. Okay, and they want to find out how much was left. So basically, you took how much water he water he has, and then you minus the water he has drank. Okay, so this is a subtraction for fractions. Okay, so when you want to do any addition or subtraction of fraction, what you need to pay attention to is you need to make sure the denominator, or what we call the bottom of the fraction, need to be the same. So if you look into the bottom, one number is 10 and the other number is 5. Okay, so what's the common number you can turn them into? Basically it's 10, because 5 times 2 equals to 10. Okay, so you need to convert both fraction to have a denominator which is the bottom of the number to be the same in order to do subtraction or addition. So 9 out of 10, you leave it as it is. And then from 3 out of 5, change to something over 10. So from 5 to 10, you need to times 2. So basically, you do the same thing. Times 2 here. So 3 times 2, which is 6. Then what you do is, the bottom will remain the same, 10. And then you do the addition or subtraction at the top. So in this case, it was 9 minus 6, which is 3. So the answer is 3 out of 10. So the answer is 4. Alright, let's move to question 4. In the number in the number line below, what is the value of x as indicated by the arrow? Okay, so basically you saw a number line here, starting from 3 out of 12, ended by 10 out of 12. Okay, and then you have a few lines or segment in between. So let's count how many sector are there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So total there were 7 of them. And then if you see from 3 to 10, they are also totally 7. So if you took the end minus the beginning, it will give you, again, just like last question for subtraction and fractions, you keep the bottom number the same, and then you do the calculation on the top. So 10 minus 3 is 7. So in total, the length was 7 out of 12, and then totally we also count. They were totally 7 sector or 7 segment. So for each of that means each of the segment was 1 out of 12 for each of them, right? So each of this is 1 out of 12. So totally, now we need to find out what is the value of x. So what's the position of the x? So from 3 out of 12, if you can count, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So totally there were 5 sector. So that means there's 5 of them. So that means it was 5 out of 12. But that's not the answer. That's the length between 3 out of 12 to x. And what's the starting point? The starting point is 3 out of 12, and then you plus the length of the, where value x is. So again, you keep the bottom the same, and you do the addition at the top. So the answer was 8 out of 12. But that's not the final answer, because if you pay attention, in the option there wasn't an option of 8 out of 12. That's because the fraction can be simplified. So for both 8 and the 12, they are multiplication of 2. So you will be able to take 2 out of each number. So this will become 4, and this will become 6. And again, you will be able to take 2 out of 4 and the 6. So you will be able to simplify this further. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the answer is 2 out of 3, which is number 3. Okay. Let's move on to question 5. Rita had 5 out of 8 kilo of cookies. She gave away 1/3 of it to her friends. How many kilogram of cookies did she give away to the friends? Okay, so you have a few clues here. One is Rita had 5 out of 8 kilo of cookies, and then she gave 1/3 away. Okay, she didn't give 1/3 kilo away. She gave 1/3 away. Which means every 3 portions she give 1 portion away. So she give 1/3 of the total cookies away. So they want to find out how many kilogram of cookie did she give away. Okay, so you need to pay attention to the question. Is the question asking about how many kilogram of the cookie left, or how many kilogram of cookie she give away? Okay, in this case, the question is asking about the cookie being given away. Okay, so you took the total number of cookie, which was 5 out of 8 kilo. Then you times the portion that she gave away, which was 1/3. This will be the same amount of the kilo of cookies that she gave away. If you want to look for the remainder, then there will be a different calculation, which we'll explain in a different video. So in this case, this is a question about multiplication of fractions. So for the for the addition and the subtraction of fractions, you need to make sure the bottom, which is the denominator, the same. The multiplication of the fractions, you don't need to do that. So what do you need to do here? Basically, you multiply the number at the top, and you also multiply the number at the bottom. So 5 times 1 equals to 5. 8 times 3 equals to 24. Okay, and then the units is kilogram. So the answer is 5 out of 24, which was 2. Okay, so if the question was asking how many kilogram of cookie she was left, okay, so basically she gave away 1/3, meaning remainder is 1 minus 1/3, which equal to 2/3. So if you want to find out how much was the cookie remaining, then you took how much was the original cookie times by the remaining portion, which was 2 out of 3. Then that will give you the answer, which is 10 out of 24, or you can simplify as 5 out of 12. Okay, so but in this case, the question was simply asking how much she gave away. So you just took the 5 out of 8 times by 1 out of 3. That will give you the answer. Okay, let's move on to question 6. Mrs. An had 4 out of 5 liters of milk. She poured all the milk equally to 8 identical bottles. How many liters of milk did she pour into each of the bottles? Okay, so when you see the question looking into, you do something, you divide something, or you pour something into 8 or 10 identical bottles. That means what? It's a division. Okay, so you took 4 out of 5, which was the original milk she had, but pour into 8 identical bottles, which means divide by 8. Okay, so this question, last question was about the fraction multiplication, and this question is about fraction division. Okay, so for all 4 out of 5 divided by 8, how do you solve the problem? First of all, 4 out of 5 divide 8 equals to 8 over 1. You can turn that into a fraction, which is a little bit easier to do the calculation. And then what you do is you can convert the division into multiplication. Then what you need to do is you just need to flip the fraction upside down at the back. So 8 out of 1 will become 1 out of 8, and you change the sign from division to multiplication. Okay, and then from here, before you do the multiplication, you can also see 4 and 8 can be simplified. So 4 divided by 4 equals to 1. 8 divided by 4 equals to 2. You took the remaining, the top is 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. The bottom is 5 times 2 equals to 10. So the answer is 1 out of 10, which is 1. Okay, let's move on to question 7. Express 48 meter 5 centimeter in centimeter. Okay, let me underline here. So you want to convert, this is a conversion of different units. So 48 meter 5 centimeter into centimeters. Okay, so first of all, 48 meter equals to every meter. Okay, let me put it here. 1 meter equals to 100 centimeter. Okay, so 48 meters equals to 4800 centimeter, and then 5 centimeter equals to, of course, 5 centimeter, and then if you put them together, obviously equals to 4805 centimeter. Okay, so the answer is 2. Yeah, so the question is basically testing if you know 1 meter equals to 100 meter, and if you know 48 meters equal to 4800 meters. Yeah, so it's a test about how many zeros you need to put when you convert to different units. Okay, let's move on to question 8. Find the value of 30.36 divided by 60. Okay, there are a few ways to do this. I will introduce you a way to be a bit easier, and then you don't make mistakes, because it's quite easy to make a mistake when you see zeros in the quotient. Okay, but let me do it in the normal way. So basically, you took 30.36 divided by 60. Okay, first of all, you take one spot. 3 divided by 60. That's not possible. 30. Then you take the second. Then you take the second point. 30 divided by 60, also not possible. So you put a 0 here, and then there is a decimal point. Then another number in 303 divided by 60. Okay, you can see that's a 5. So 60 times 5 equals to 300, and then 36. 36 divided by 60. That's not possible. So put a 0. Then you add another 0 here. So 360 divided by 60, that's a 6. And then 6 times 360. 60 times 6 equal to 360, and that will give you 0. So the answer is 0.506, which is 3. But this is rather difficult because not everyone is familiar with the multiplication of 60. So what's another way to do this, which might be a bit easier to avoid mistake? Okay, I'll do this on the right hand side. So 30.36 divided by 60. So what you can do is the zero from 60 is really annoying. Is there any way to take it out? Yes. So what you can do is you can actually in division, whatever you do to the first number, you can do the same thing for the second number. Okay. So basically, there was a decimal point here, and there was a decimal point here. So if the 0 is really annoying, the way is you can move the decimal point one spot to the left hand side, but then whatever you do to this, you need to do the same here. So this can become what? You can rewrite the question as 3.036 divided by 6. Okay, you move the decimal points to one place. You can do the same thing the other way around. You can change 60 to 600 and then change the fraction to 303.6. But in this case, we want to get rid of the 0, so it's a bit easier to do the calculation. So in this case, we'll be doing the same thing, 3.036 divided by 6. 3 divided by 6, not possible, so you put a 0 and a decimal point here. Then you add another number, 30 divided by 6, which is 5. Okay, this will give you a 0, and then you put down the 3. Then 3 divided by 6, not possible, put a 0 here, then you put down another number. 36 divided by 6, which is 6. 36. That's 0. Which you get exactly the same answer, 0.506. So this is a test about how good you are with your division, and also if you are not so sure, especially when you see a lot of 0, which could be rather confusing, try to get rid of the 0 first, especially the 0 at the back. Then it will make your life a little bit easier for the calculation. Yeah, of course, you can try both ways and then to see if you get the same answer. Let's move on to question 9. There are 80 oranges in a box. 24 of them are rotten. What percentage of the orange in a box are rotten? So what percentage? So this is a question about percentage. Percentage meaning what? Meaning you need to turn the number into a fraction and then have a bottom or the denominator as 100. So you will be able to convert to percentage, because percentage basically means a number out of 100. So you need to change it into a fraction with a denominator or a bottom as 100. Okay, so in this case, 80 oranges, 24 is rotten, so it's 24 out of 80. Okay, and then you will be able to simplify this further. You can start in from 2, all the way to simplify the number to a very small number. I mean, we can try, both approach. So 24 can be simplified into 12, and then 40. You can simplify further, divide by 2, which is 6, and the 40 can be divided by 2 as 20. Then you can simplify further, the 6 will become 3, and then 20 will become 10. Just keep on dividing 2. So it will be equivalent to 3 out of 10. But as I shared with you earlier, 3 out of 10, and you need to try to convert it into something with 100 at the bottom. So how do I get 10 to become 100? Well, you times by 10. And then whatever you do to the top, whatever you do to the bottom, you do the same thing to the top. So 3 times 10 equal to 30. So that will also equivalent to 30%. Okay, so the answer is 2. Okay. Let's move on to question 10. Which of the following is likely to be the mass of a 23 centimeter toothbrush? Alright, so a toothbrush, it's basically testing a general knowledge, like how much roughly is the weight. So let's look into the options. Option number 1, 31.75 kilogram. I think that's about 30 kilogram. That's roughly weighted. It's about weight for like a children, like a 3 to 4. If you are in a grade 3, grade 4 student, then your weight will probably be around 35 kilogram. So that's like a child. So probably it will not be 3.175. That's like a pack of rice or a pack of flour, which is roughly about 2 to 3 kilos. So I don't think the toothbrush will weigh as much as a pack of flour. So that's also no. 31.75 gram. Yeah, that's probably it. But let's have a look on the next option. The next option is 3.175 gram. So 3.175 gram. That's very, very small. That's probably like a few, like a salt, like a weight of a table salt, but not even exactly the entire bottle. So that's probably like a pinch of salt or a pinch of sugar. So I don't think the option is also 4. So the answer will be number 3. Okay. Let's move on to question 11. A machine printed 100 worksheets on the first day and then 800 worksheets on the second day. What was the percentage decrease in the number of worksheets printed from the first day to the second day? Okay, so the first day printed 1000 and then the second day printed 800. So what is the difference? If you minus the number, the difference is 200. So they want to know what's the percentage. Again, percentage meaning the number out of 100. Okay, so basically what you need to do is you need to take a fraction and then convert it into a fraction which has 100 as the bottom or the denominator. Alright, so they want to find out what's the percentage of decrease in the number of worksheets printed from the first day to the second day. So the total worksheets originally was 1000 and then it was decreased by 200. So you took the 200 divided by 1000. So from here you can see if you simplify, you can choose to you can choose to simplify both zeros and make it become 2 out of 10. But another way you can do this is also, because from the bottom you are looking for 100. So from 1000 you can take out 1 0, and then from the 200 you can also take out a 0. So this will become 20%. Okay, so the answer is 112. Afik used a unit cube to form a solid. Which one of the following solid was not possible for him to form? Okay, why not we have a look together. So basically you need to see which picture doesn't have 8 cubes. Okay, you probably have more, probably have less. So from here you can see on the first row 1 2 3, and then there was 2 at the bottom, so it's 5, and there was 2 here and there was 1 here, so totally it was 8. The second one 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so the second one is also 8. The third one is 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then there was 2 at the bottom, so it was also 8. The third one is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and there was a hidden one at the bottom, and there must be a block at the bottom, otherwise the top one would fall. Okay, so yeah, so totally there were 9, so the answer is 4. This one is not possible to have 8 cubes. Okay, let's move on to question 13. A tank was filled with 45 liters of water at 0700, which is 7 o'clock, probably in the morning, and then water flow out from the tank from 0700 to 0800. So for 1 hour, the water flow out, and then from 0900 to 1100, the water also continued to flow out. But in between there was a break. The water stand still, didn't flow out. So the table below shows the volume of water in the tank from 077 all the way to 0700 to 1100. So from here you can see the water flow out. So from 45 it decreased to 35. From 0800 to 0900 the number stayed the same, so there was no water flow out here. And then here continue to have water flow out, and then from 10 to 11 also continue to have water flowouts. Okay, so which graph will be able to show this? Okay, so basically if you look into graph 1, the first line coming down here, it shows the number of water is dropping, but then in the second line it's actually increasing, which is, if we look into this table, the number of water actually come down and then it stay and also come down again. Okay, so both answer 1 and answer 3 is not correct because there was this increase of water. So how about question 2 and question 4? From question 2, it says on the label it says volume of water in the tank. So the water in the tank is actually decreasing, but in the graph it shows it's actually decreasing over time. So that's also not the answer. So the answer will be 4, because from the 4 you can see the water is coming down, and then it stays flat for 1 hour, and then it's come down, and then continue to come down later. So this will be the answer 4. Let's move on to question 14. Mrs. Tay had 3 meters of clothes to make 2 pillowcases. She used 3 out of 8 meters of clothes for each pillowcase. How much clothes did she have left? Okay, so they were asking for what's left. Okay, so in the beginning she has 3 meters, and then she want to make 2 pillowcases. Each pillowcase will need 3 out of 8. So each pillowcase needs 3 out of 8 meters of clothes, and then there was there was 2 pillow. So 3 out of 8 times by 2. This can be simplified. 4 here. So the answer is 3 out of 4 for the. That's how much clothes. She took to make 2 pillowcases. And then the question is asking how much she had left. So you need to take how much clothes she had minus the clothes she used for the pillowcase. So how do you do the subtraction? So basically, this is a subtraction for fraction. So you could take 1 out from the 3 to minus the 3 out of 4. So this is 2 plus 1 minus 3 out of 4. 2 remain the same, and then 1 minus 3 out of 4 is equal to 1 out of 4. And then if you put them together, it becomes 2 and 1/4. So the answer is 3. Yeah. Another way to do this is 3 minus 3 out of 4. You can convert this into a fraction of 4. 3 times 4, which is 12, minus 3 out of 4. And then 12 minus 3 equals to 9, and then 9 divided by 9, so 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, so 9 it will become a 2, which you have 1 left. So if you convert 9 out of 4 to a mixed fraction, so this will be 2 and 1/4, so which is the same answer as what we did previously. So the answer will be 3. Okay, let's move on to question 15. Observe the pattern below. Okay, so every block have 4 numbers, and then in the third block, they are asking what's the block on the bottom right. So basically, it's quite straightforward. You can see from the first block is 2, and then the bottom right block is 4. Okay, and then if you observe the second one, it's 4 and 8. So basically, the bottom right column is that you took the top right column block and then you times by 2, and that's the answer. And if you check the last one, it's also the same, 16 and 32. So basically 16 times 2 is 32. Okay, so if you look into this block here, so basically you can take which was the top left block, which is 8, then you times by 2 equal to 16. So the answer is 16. Okay, so that's actually the end of the paper. I think there isn't really any tricky questions, and if you read the question very carefully, and if you do the question slowly, I think it's actually not very difficult to get a full marks. Okay, so I think that will be the end of the video today. If you support me to continue to do more of the paper in English, please give me a thumbs up, click the like button, and also click the subscribe. This is the first time I actually record a video in English, and I hope you can give me some feedback if you understand, you don't understand, or if you want me to explain in more detail or talk a little bit more slowly. I'll appreciate any kind of feedback. Alright, so good luck guys. Thank you.